Okay, what we have here today is the Ownuser Photo Accessories GH2 battery grip, and this is what you get when it shows up. And basically, let's open it up and see what we get in here. This is for the GH2. It works on the GH1 also. So this is what we have inside. Is a little picture on the back showing you what you got. And then we've got, can you see?
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got a little box, and inside here, these sell for like $100 on eBay, $100 a piece. There's one on the camera right now that we're using. You get the battery grip and apparently some little instruction sheets that are all in Mandarin or something. Little instructions with pictures of what how to click it, what it's for, and then looks like one in English. Yeah, here's an English one. That was one in Mandarin, and then here's the same thing basically in English. Okay, so what we get in the box is this, and here we go. This is for the remote button, so that you can click this button. This turns the camera on and off. If you're using a microphone, you can't plug this in. If you're using an external microphone like I'm using the Rode on this camera, you can't plug this in. You have to unplug it temporarily to use for video. But as long as you're doing just photos, you leave it plugged in, and then you can have the camera sideways and click the button. So let's take a look and see what it looks like. Here's a GH2. Let's go ahead and, this is a GH2. Pop a battery out. Basically, you prepare it by clicking this little plastic place for the cable to come through on your battery compartment. You drop. I'll just leave that off for now. I want to see what it's like without it. Okay. Then you put the battery in the right way, the little battery adapter part. Let this hang down and close the battery compartment. Now it's on. Now it comes back up. You can kind of push this little plastic thing back a little bit, and then you flip it over and you have a dial. You just dial. Screw it on the bottom.
Groovy.
I'm not done.
I know.
Okay. And once it's connected, yeah, I see it has a little. There's a little thing. I like that little thing on there, but we'll leave it off for now. There's a little plastic piece that goes in here to fill this little gap. Oh, to fill this little gap on a GH2. Let's put it on. Hold on, I'm gonna put this on. We're gonna test it just a second. It's on right there, but hold on just a second. This little plastic piece, it's a little. It kind of fills this little hole right here, so that when you put it on the GH2, it matches the form of the grip. It's got a rough bottom, so that when you mount a tripod plate or anything on the bottom, it won't slip around. And then this little cable here plugs into the remote for taking pictures in there, so that when you turn the grip sideways, you can take a picture with this button, or you flip it over and take it with this, just like any other camera. It's got a little place for your finger to go up underneath this little bump, so you got a place to hold the camera. Makes it a lot more
just
thicker.
Sideways again.
Sideways is like this, and has a button here, so you can take your pictures sideways, or you flip it over and take it from the top. Okay, then you load the batteries like this. There's two batteries. You just slide your battery in, put the little cap back on. You gotta kind of start it and then push the battery in to hold it. Oh wait, I got it backwards. It would help if I put it on the right way. There it is. There's one. And then take another battery out. I put these little covers on them. Another battery out. Pull this one off. Put your other battery in with the little gold part facing up towards the top of the camera. The contacts. Snap it on. Then you turn the camera on and boom. Camera's on, it shows a full charge. It's got to be the right Panasonic batteries for it to actually recognize the batteries. On the switch here on the front is A or B or DC. In the middle, I think it does, if you click it on in the middle to B, it'll drain both batteries. Or if you're on A and the battery signal starts going, you can flip it over to B and then change out A. Like this is A. I think this one side's A and one side's B. You have to figure it out. I don't know which one's which. Maybe put a little note on it that this is A, this is B. And then you can actually hot swap the battery so you can keep the camera recording, pop the battery out, pop in a new battery, and continue recording. This little cable on the side here is for pictures so that now you can take pictures like this, like that, or turn it sideways.
I like the sideways, yeah.
And take a picture up and down. And see, there's the button there. Takes a picture. So that's basically the bad thing is you might bump this with your pinky down here. You're holding it, you're picking the thing up. I tend to bump it, so you might want to move your hand out, make sure you don't bump in the button, but it's not that big of a deal. But it makes it much more comfortable, sturdy, easier to hold. If you need to use the microphone, like I'm using on that, a stick, like you got a Rode microphone you want to put on the top to record video, you simply unplug this little cable here, bring the Rode microphone cable over, plug it in, and now you're using audio. And it says please make sure to turn the audio on. And then you can just leave this hanging here or just take this cable out completely. It also has another place right here for DC power. If you want to pull DC power directly off, you basically get a DC coupler this way, which doesn't come on a GH2 but came on the GH1. And then on the back it has another remote if you're wanting to use a for say doing time lapse or something like that, and you want to use a remote, you can plug it in there and then operate the camera with a remote in your hand instead of having to hit the button on the front if it's on a tripod. It has a 1/4-inch tripod mount on the bottom. But
that
that's
reminds me, I want to do time lapse tonight.
That's it. Are you still recording?
Yeah, let me turn it off.
Okay.